Hey everybody, I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics. It's Thursday night. That means it's time for some shop talk. So stick around and we got a lot of comics to talk about tonight. Hey everybody, when I say we have a lot of comics to talk about, I'm just going to show y'all. This is my stack from this week. That's just this week. That's a lot of books. I haven't even been able to get to them all yet. Been a little bit busy. But speaking of busy, what's up, Alan? Oh, I see. One of these days, I'm going to get some of that. That wore you out, didn't it?
I tell you what has worn me out, and that
All
is
that constant patting yourself on the back.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got some type of tennis elbow from it. I'm not sure.
That'll do it.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Nobody loves me like I love me. So
That's probably true. What's up,
I do want to
James?
say this before we get started. I was looking at the YouTube analytics to all the new subscribers. Thank you very much and welcome. And about 50% of the people that watch our videos, actually 51% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed. It's free. It's right down there. Just click the subscribe button. It helps us out. It makes Josh happy.
It does make me happy.
In fact, if Josh is happy enough, he might model for another Mark Spears book. We never can tell.
Hey, if you guys want more of that, and I don't know why you would, but yeah, it's that's when I'm happy, I'm more likely to pose for Mark so he can get some realistic, horrifying images, since people like to be horrified.
Draw me like your pretty French girls.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I have been reading like a madman the past couple of days trying to get caught up.
So far behind, yes.
I think I've still got maybe 10 or 12 books at home that I'm not caught up on. If we ever did something like that, I could picture Josh as July with like a red, white, and blue Speedo.
Well, you can picture that, can you?
Like a grill behind him and a hot dog in one hand. And he's got like his foot up on a comic book box with the Haven logo on it.
You've really put a lot of thought into that.
I put a lot of thought into that quick. It kind of made my head hurt.
I bet it did. I was thinking I'd be more December because I'm built for cold weather.
Oh, well, if that's the case, like a polar bear Speedo doing the polar bear plunge. How about that?
You just really want me in a Speedo is what I'm getting.
I think that's going to be the way we move those calendars.
Well, that's true. They'd be very popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, we were actually talking about Mark Spears.
Oh, see, there you go. She's got the right idea. There you go.
It blew their mind that he was a local guy.
Yeah.
And they was like, I mean, what happened? And I said, oh, well, it was simple. We know why book one blew up the way that it did. And they're like, why? And I said, because my name was in it. They just kind of accepted it.
Well, like, obviously, I thought you were going to say because I posed for it.
No.
I mean, that's what he chose to open the book with. And people got one look and said, I got to read more about this.
Oh, yeah. Got to get me some more of that right there.
And they've been bitterly disappointed. Haven't seen another panel like it since.
So you ready to talk comic books? I know we got a bunch of books to talk about.
Brother, let's talk some comic books.
All right. Well, this is my stack before I open the Storefolio. Actually, there's some of these I'll be able to cover at the same time, but And this is in no particular order, and this is actually a couple of weeks worth of books, and I'm just going to kind of hit the high points on a
Well, let's
couple of
talk
them.
about why that is, right? Because we had Free Comic Book Day
We had
and post Expo wrap up. We had pre Expo. We had that Thursday off because of the Expo, and then we had, hey, let's talk about the Expo. And the week before that, we had somebody else on. I don't even remember who at this point. I'd have to go back and look.
No, we had Jeremy Long on.
No, I'm saying the week before that. We
Oh,
had Mark
yeah.
on. Mark was on the week before that.
Yep.
So it's just been like a solid month since the last time we got to just talk comics.
We are definitely the Mighty but Meek channel. The Meek but Mighty, that sounds better. But right off the bat, I've got Hornsby and Halo issue 6. Have you read it yet?
Yeah.
I like that we're getting deeper into the lore.
Yep.
But it seems like this is kind of dragging a little bit.
Agreed.
I think we need to. I like it. I like the art. I like the story. We need to pick up the pace some. This next one, I know that we have both been looking forward to for a really long time. I know several people have been looking forward to it, but it literally left us with more questions than we had before, and that is Redcoat issue 11.
Fantastic. So good, though. It left you a lot of questions, but it was so good.
Oh, it was. This new camera is making these comic books pop. Look at that. That is amazing. Oh, sorry. I'm admiring my handiwork over here. But yeah, I mean, it was so good. I like the presentation of the Northerner. I like the way that they brought him into it. But it left it with more questions. Are we doing the hokey pokey, putting the right foot in?
I'm trying to make it so people can see your comic books better.
But yeah, a wraparound cover, gorgeous cover, really good story. But there's so much more. And I mean, they could really, really, really go deep with the Northerner as far as I think it's obvious that he's some type of time traveler.
Very obvious. Yeah.
I mean, that's not that you know within the halfway through the book that's obviously the case. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more of him. I mean, that's just been really, really good.
The spinner rack. What's up, fellas?
We got both the Hintons on tonight.
I know. It's awesome.
Next up is I need a dog like this. I don't know why. I've got that. You're laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
I know which book you're talking about. Yeah.
Rockefellers is number 5.
We all need a dog like that.
You know,
that issue was a hoot.
You're concerned because you're like, oh my God, what's wrong? They've gone to the hospital. They never really tell you what was wrong. And by the end of the book, you don't even care.
Nope.
This is like the most apropos cover that they could have possibly had for this issue.
John Wick needed that dog.
Yeah,
a lot of people would not have died if John Wick had that dog.
For my Gen Xers out there that remember Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt,
yes,
think Dino Mutt on steroids.
Yes,
it was great. I literally laughed during this book.
I have really, really enjoyed Rockefellers. It's been a great book.
I tell you what got me though was the ending panels where the dog was actually cleaning and straightening up the house that he had destroyed fighting the bad guys. Yep. I just thought that was great. Next one, and this was definitely a holy shnikes moment at the end of it, which I used a lot more colorful language than holy shnikes. On one hand, it's kind of a confusing ending, but at the same time, when you realize that the entire story is pretty much about multi-dimensional time travel, it made sense. But wow, this one was a, for lack of a better way to put it, a wild ride. And that was Fantastic Four issue 31.
I haven't read that one yet.
Have you? This one, I don't want to spoil it for you, but this one was really good.
It's okay. Tell me. Go for it.
So basically, they figure out they're working on this theory that if they jump the multiverse, and they put Ben in the path of the cosmic rays that basically gave them their powers, that he'll get his power back. At the same time, it's also working on something that they had done, I believe, in Giant Size Fantastic Four, or maybe an annual or something. I can't remember which, where if one of them starts losing their powers, they all start losing their powers. Well, Johnny Storm has started losing his powers. They end up, there's only, no matter which multiverse they go to, it does not work. There's only one answer, and that is he's got to go to the multiverse that he's from. He's got to go back in time. But by him basically being there and taking those powers, it actually prevents them from getting the powers to begin with.
Yeah.
And it literally ends with everybody disappearing.
Yeah.
The kids disappearing, everything being undone. I mean, it literally ends with the demise of the Fantastic Four.
So that's how we start with a new #1 in July.
Okay, I didn't know they were getting ready to do a new #1. It's great the way they
Ryan
did
North is writing it, but they're relaunching with a new #1 in July to coincide with the release of the movie.
Gotcha. Okay, so that does make a lot of sense then, the reason why they did this the way that they did. One cool aspect of it is every time they're in a different multiverse, they watch the ship crash and they see that version of themselves coming out with their powers. So, I mean, and they did kind of use like some of the same poses and some of the same, like, I guess, panel layouts that was originally done.
Nice.
So that was a really cool callback. They do kind of mix up some of their powers and even mix up some of the characters some based on just being different in the multiverse. Yes, Jay, Ben has actually lost his power. He is back to being human because it's what Doctor Doom has done to him.
No, he said supercharged, not supercharged.
Oh, supercharged now. Well, we don't know.
Right now, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, right now. So the new #1 is coming out in July.
Yeah.
So are we getting an issue in June?
There might be a 31, but I think 30 was the end of the series.
Actually, this one's 31.
31. So then 32 must be the end of it.
Okay. Next up on my list is Green Arrow issue 23. What's up, Mr. Posey? I really enjoyed Josh Williamson's run on Green Arrow. When Condone, I believe that's how you say his name, when he took over, he started what's called the Freshwater Killer series, or story arc. This was issue 6 of that story arc. It should have been the final issue of the story arc, but we're getting one more. It's been good, but it's kind of dragged out. I mean, I love Josh Williamson writing Green Arrow. I thought he did a great job of it, but that magic is kind of lost now. So I'm really hoping that I'm going to give it another story arc, and I'm really hoping that we kind of get some of that magic that Josh Williamson had on it back. Next up, One World Under Doom issue 3. Have you read it yet?
Yep.
So basically what you're telling me is our potential hero is also our greatest adversary?
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. And like I said, I got a bunch, so I'm going kind of fast. The Mummy issue 2. Have you been reading this?
No.
I liked the first issue. I thought it was really good. I get to the second issue and I find out that we basically have got another story about Imhotep and a Noxinamun.
All right, Daniel Major, you're just going to have to go to the chalkboard and write 100 times, I will not be tardy. I will not be tardy. I will not be tardy. Just terrible.
Now, this one, I don't know what I was expecting on this particular issue, but it blew me away. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. And that was Wonder Woman issue 20.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was great.
it was great.
And Tom King can write Batman love interests like nobody. And there seems to be a little tension between Batman and Wonder Woman. Maybe that could be wishful thinking on my part, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me any if they ended up on a cloud somewhere, because they are kind of, in Olympus. But that one was really good. If you have not been reading Tom King's Wonder Woman, that's a good issue to start on.
Yes.
That would be like the perfect issue to jump on it. Tom King has done a great job with this. You could pick up right here on issue 20 and then maybe pick up the trades if you wanted to read the other, 1 through 19. But I mean, that was a solid issue and it was a really fun issue. What up, Mark?
What's up, man?
Next up, had Nightwing issue 125. It's fun. I like it. I like what Waters has done with it.
Awesome.
Dude, I love what Tom King's doing with Wonder Woman. And this issue with Batman being in it was great.
Yeah, no doubt.
But Nightwing, honestly, it was a good issue. It was a solid issue, but I want to get back to that Cirque du Soleil sin or whatever it was that Dick Grayson, they want him to be the ringmaster. I want to get back to that.
They'll come back to it.
Yeah, it's just, me, I get impatient sometimes.
Yes, I do.
Now, this next book, I was not expecting.
Hang on.
Oh.
I don't know, the barometer's changing. I got a lot of pressure in my ear. And whenever that happens, it just makes me yawn a lot. So apologies.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree 100% on that. Oh, you've got it popped up over here. I'm reading it over there. And I love the way Tom King. To me, it kind of felt like, on some level, Batman and Wonder Woman could potentially be love interest there at some point. I don't know. If not, Tryst in the Clouds, maybe. I haven't got a clue. This next comic, though, I was not expecting anything that happened in this book, and it felt, even though it was issue number 2, it felt fresh, like I was reading a brand new issue number 1, and that was We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, issue 2.
Oh, so great.
This has been like, wow. I mean, 2 issues has been easy, Mark, easy. But yeah, this has been great. And then the fact that he had to alter his voice as the robot, I thought that was a nice touch. She called it out and then he altered his voice. So yeah, but to find out that, what was it they called him, Vivitarian or Vitarian or something like that?
Yeah.
I was not expecting there to be like some secret organization of bad guys or any of that stuff or whatever. This was so good.
It's almost like that Matthew Rosenberg guy's know what he's doing.
You know what? I think the kid's got a future. Next up, which I know this one probably tickled your fancy too, and that is G.I. Joe issue 6.
Oh, heck yes.
This Cobra Commander is so much better than what we've had in the past.
He is a different guy for sure. We can do that. We can do that. Speaking of monsters, before we go any further, I have to let people know this. Our shipment from Diamond this week, and we have to order monsters from both Lunar and Diamond because Lunar is only carrying 4 covers. And you've got to go to Diamond to get the rest of them. And that includes the 1 in 25 variants and stuff like that is only available from Diamond. So we had to order a fair bit through Diamond. And I just got to tell you, this is not normal by any means. A lot of people complain about diamond shipping and stuff, but that's not normally the case for us. We normally have very few damages. Everything that came in this week with Mark Spear's name on it. I'm talking Silverhawks, Space Ghost, Johnny Quest, Herculoids, Monsters, all of it was damaged. I want to show you guys a picture of the metal cover for Monsters number 4. This is the metal cover. That's how it came out of the box. What do you have to do that to a metal cover? That's insane. So I hope they can replace it. I'll be very sad if they can't. Well, Diamond doesn't have a whole lot of choice. They just sold, so they're not going to exist for very long. But yeah, yeah, I don't know how that happened. That's remarkable. It's a good question. Just press it. Hey, Daniel, you know anybody can help with that? Anybody can press a metal cover out?
You know what? We have seen Dustin Ellis work miracles.
That's true.
Let's see if he's got one more up his sleeve.
That's true. But
speaking of Mark Spears,
hang on, we got to go back and address the G.I. Joe questions there.
Yes.
People are talking about the Cobra Commander in this version of G.I. Joe. I don't think this version of G.I. Joe needs a Serpentor, because Cobra Commander is quite capable and is vicious and soulless.
Very conniving, and the end of that issue proves it. My stuff's just going off left and right.
But let's talk about the issue here and catch people up on what's happened.
So basically, in this particular issue, what's going on is it's literally picks immediately up where 5 left off. Duke and Cobra Commander are fighting. Duke is trying to stop basically the mind bomb, because the mind bomb is going to yap everybody within a so many mile radius, and then everybody outside of that radius for so many miles will basically 100% be under Cobra's control. Like, their minds will be bent to Cobra's will. Duke is trying to put a stop to that, while everybody else is trying to escape, because they're literally running out of time before the bomb goes off. But the thing is, the guy that created the bomb is the one. Good Lord Almighty, hush it. All right, sorry. The guy that created the bomb is actually hooked up to it. So the only person that can actually stop it is pretty much in the middle of it and can't stop it. So
did you find it? I mean, it's not like they tried to hide it or anything, but in the original G.I. Joe comic book, the guy that created the brainwave scanner and did all that stuff, the predecessor to Dr. Mindbender, was Dr. Venom.
Yep.
And this is Dr. Monev, which is Venom spelled backwards.
I did not catch that.
Yeah. I just thought that was a nice little homage.
Matt, that is actually my notifications on my phone. And Daniel is 100% right. Cobra Commander does tell Duke, you can stop it, you can disarm it, but you got to kill the doctor to do it. So, but they get down to the last second. Cobra Commander ends up killing the doctor and ends up getting away. Well, when you go through the whole Cobra Commander side of the story after he gets away, Destro is pretty much just beside himself,
livid,
because you basically everybody is exposed. You know that there's going to be problems, there's going to be issues, but Cobra Commander is like, no, look, you don't understand. this is what we learned from this experience. You know, that this is how we move forward, which I thought was great because the old Cobra commander would have laughed it off and,
Or
you know,
he would have just gone to his room crying, I was
yeah,
betrayed, I was tricked.
exactly. But this Cobra commander is taking the failures and running with them because he's turned it into a learning experience. But
Yep.
then we fast forward and we jump over to the G.I. Joe side of it. They know that they need more people. They know that they need a bigger team. The bigger team is coming. If you've seen the cover for next week, which you should have did, you did see the cover for next week because it's
Of
in this
course.
issue. Beachhead is on his way, but Clutch has basically needs to get out and go for a drive.
Yep.
He's got to clear his head because he spent so much time with Cobra kind of hiding out. And literally, as he's driving down the road, pretty much the Jeep throws him out and turns into a transformer. And they're both kind of left standing there staring at each other. Now, to me, Clutch ending up with the transformer is perfect.
Yep. Makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect that they did it that way. I did enjoy the way that they did it. I'm still leery of how we're going to get this crossover and how everything's going to go back and forth between G.I. Joe and Transformers. I'm hoping that they exist in their own little book and they have their own little stories and they only ever cross over every once in a while.
Same.
Or maybe this Jeep that turned into a Transformer could be like the liaison for the Transformers, and Clutch could be the liaison for the Joes.
That
And
would work.
they just kind of work together. That, I mean, that's kind of how I would hope that it would go. Picture it.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I mean, we can kind of we'll stick with the GI Joe theme for just a minute, and we'll go with the 3 silent issues that Josh and I have not been able to talk about. I don't. I had high hopes. I have no idea what this was about. Was he saying goodbye to his friend? Was he putting his friend back in his place? I mean, I had really high hopes for the Duke silent issue, and it just, me personally, it fell flat. But I've got the others. I've got the other silent issues, so I had to have this one too. This one was so much better than the other silent issues. I did like this one. I thought the art was better in it.
I thought that one was okay.
Yeah, it was better than the other silent issues that we've had. Until we got to Roadblock's silent issue, which I thought has been the best one so far.
By far. The Roadblock one was good. It had a point.
Yep.
It had a story. Like the one that bugged me, like the one the Beachhead one wasn't about Beachhead. So that fail. The Jinx one wasn't a story. It was like somebody just clipped the fight scene out of a bigger story and said, "Here you go. Let's just make this this fight scene. You don't know what's going on. Something is ticking down. Something's going to blow up. You don't know why. You don't know what. You don't care. There's no reason to care about any of it. It was a piece of a story. It wasn't a story. The Spirit one was just kind of weird. Like, what's up with the giant robotic polar bear? Why does anyone care about that?
Yeah.
That was weird.
But at least you could see a little bit more of a point to his story than you could the others before it.
I did worry about what was going to happen to Freedom there during that. I almost said Eagly. That's a crossover we don't need. But the Roadblock one made sense. The art was good. There was an actual story. And it was well executed. I liked the Roadblock one. It's the only one out of the 5 that I really cared for.
Yeah, I mean, you from the very beginning, you pretty much knew exactly what the story was, what was going on, what the point of his mission was. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think it could have been better if it had been just solely about him saving the dog or the wolf or whatever.
Yep, the wolf.
But yeah, the roadblock, I mean, it was solid. I mean, you could understand the story through the pictures alone, which is the way that it was meant to be. Where the Jinx one, you couldn't understand anything from the pictures alone.
No,
And sometimes the pictures didn't even make sense to me.
no, that was not good art.
Yeah. But that I think that was the last of the silent issues, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's all 5 of them.
Yeah. Next up, I've got Justice League Unlimited issue number 6, Mark Spears cover.
Man, that book has been so good.
It really has been. I like the way that it kind of jumped back and explained how Grodd is the way Grodd is now.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of like that. The Legion of Doom that he has is the Legion of Doom basically from another universe, which I thought was brilliant.
Yep.
Because
Although I did have a question about that though, because when the all in thing happened, all of the other universes were gone, inaccessible, except for the Elseworld. I mean, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's how I read that. Was all the other universes were suddenly inaccessible. All the other 52 whatnot were, you just couldn't get to them anymore
unless he found a way. I mean, it's one of those. Maybe we'll have to.
I don't think that they would open or close that door.
Oh, gotcha. That makes a lot more sense. He says it's the Legion from the same.
Okay. Yes, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
Next up is one that I have been enjoying from beginning to end. But once again, it's.
I totally forgot, man. I have not. I think it's in my car. I'll grab that and do that. I'm sorry.
Once again, though, this is another issue that does not need or does not deserve the explicit content red band that they slapped on it. But Daredevil Unleash Hell, issue 4. I mean, they're literally in hell duking it out now. And the thing about it is Elektra, when she's in hell, she's no longer in the Daredevil outfit. She's actually in the Elektra outfit that she's always been in. And she's fighting herself, or a demon version of herself. This one's been really, really good. I'm going to hate to see this one end, to be honest with you. That's how much I've enjoyed it. Next up, y'all may or may not have heard of this fella. I think the kid might have a future one day. Mark Spears, issue number 4, Monsters 4.
I had so many people at the expo ask me, what's the deal with this Mark Spears guy? How did this happen? Where did he come from? And it's this perfect storm of events that led him to where he is. And God bless him, man. He is handling it very smartly.
Yep. I mean, he's doing a really good job with everything. This particular issue, this has actually been fun for me to read, just simply because
we'll talk about that right after he talks about number 4 here.
We read all this stuff a year ago.
Or more.
Yeah, or more. I mean, we read all this stuff a long time ago, and I mean, I've still got the emails. Hey, I like this. I don't like that. I thought this was cool. You know, or maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that. And then actually going back through and rereading it again.
And seeing how he's changed some things.
Yeah. And
it's not that he changed them so much as he moved them around a little bit. So things occur in different sequences a little bit sometimes.
So that's been really cool. I mean, the story has been solid. You do get the more Goonies vibe aspect feel of this one. The Goonies / Monster Squad.
Which we've said ever since we first read it, that number 4 is where the story really took off.
Yeah.
And I felt that again when I read this issue. I was like, there it is.
Yep. And then, I mean, it was honestly, it was the same thing a year ago. The same thing popped in my mind a year later when we had that conversation. And I asked Mark flat out, does Wolfman have nards? And he started laughing, and he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yes, he did. I remember.
So that last page, when I saw him, the first thing that popped in my mind was, all right, Mark, does Wolfman have nards?
Just so funny.
Next up, and I got a question on this one. This one's it's gonna be kind of a
Hang on, we're not gonna skip that one yet. We're not gonna get to that
one.
one.
We were doing issue 0.
Yep. So issue number 0 for Monsters came out for Free Comic Book Day. And Free Comic Book Day books, typically, you have to explain the reference for Matt.
So that is from the movie Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
If you have not seen Monster Squad, that is on your must-watch list for the weekend. And when you watch Monster Squad, you'll understand a lot of references in this Monster series.
Yes. But instead, a lot of times for Free Comic Book Day, the books that they put out are either reprints, or it's just a half issue, or it's just like a teaser kind of trailer thing, and there's 3 or 4 other teaser trailer things in it. It's just a thing that they do for Free Comic Book Day. And Mark said, screw that, I'm going to give him a whole new issue. So that's what he did. And I have to say, the dialogue with the clown, between this clown and this little girl, is so unsettling, because you know what the clown is saying, but you also know what the little girl is hearing, and they're not the same thing. And you're like, no, little girl, go, run, get away from there. This is not going to end well. And you just so want to help her. And then he's leading her off into the woods, and it's going to be bad. And it's going to be bad. And then the Slayer shows up. And that's where the story takes a really interesting twist, because the Slayer doesn't just kill this dude. He's apparently got a history. They go back a ways, and they talk about that some. But he shoots the clown, and the clown can't be killed with normal bullets, but these are special bullets. And that kind of reminded me, in a more serious way, but it kind of reminded me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You had the Toon bullets.
Yeah.
Take that concept, but serious, right? And he tells the clown, when he makes a deal with the clown, he's like, look, I'll give you the means to kill this dude that's making your life hell. And he's like, well, your bullets won't do it. And he said, well, these bullets will. And he shoots the clown. And the clown has to, in order to do anything to take out the guy who's making his life hell, the clown has to dig the bullets out of himself, so that he can use them on the other guy.
Oh, no, that's funny.
And you're like, oh, that is so vicious. It is so, so vicious. But yeah, there's some elements of, in kind of the King clown, is a little bit like a cross between Violator when he's in the clown shape and Jabba the Hutt. But the way that he's talking and the stuff that goes on here, this is a freak-tastic issue. And then it introduces a new character to the book at the very end. So it's a really well done story. The artwork is, I think, even you can tell Mark's getting better. His art is getting better, and this issue is the art is really moody. And you can see the expressions and the emotions on people's faces. It's not just all static faces.
Yeah.
It's not all that. It's really good. And then they threw some little like 2-issue, 3-issue thing at the back of it that I didn't care about or read. I thought it was a weird thing to tack on to the end of this book. But it's a whole story, and it's really excellent. It's really, really excellent. I'm looking forward to you reading it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna run by the shop tomorrow and pick up my stuff since I was out of town last weekend. So I can't wait to get into that one because that's something that we did not read in the past, you know.
Yeah, it's all new to
So I'm
us and
definitely looking
everybody.
forward to that. Next up on my list, I do got a question about it, and it's probably going to seem like a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I got Batman 159, Batman Hush 2.
Yeah.
So here's my question about it. In the current continuity, everything is relatively cool between Batman and Jason Todd.
Yeah.
But in this issue, it makes it come across as it's not been cool between them, and Batman was worried about him showing up. So is this supposed to be, and I know that they're restarting Batman, so is this supposed to be part of that whole relaunch,
No,
or
the relaunch is a separate thing that happens after this.
okay, so now is this one of those where it's really and truly finding out that Batman saved the Joker just jump started all those feelings in Jason Todd again?
That's what I think. I think the minute Joker was involved, Jason Todd, it's like his PTSD came flying back.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, I was afraid of this. Is kind of how I read it. I wanted to keep him away from this because I knew it was going to set him off.
And I've always liked the more brutal, devil-may-care Jason Todd than any other version of him. I mean, I really enjoyed Red Hood and the Outlaws New 52.
I know you did.
I know.
My favorite Jason Todd came just a couple issues after Joker beat him to death. I never liked Jason Todd.
Well, see, I didn't like him until New 52. But, I mean, honestly, I like him more than Damian.
Well, I like the big toe on my left foot more than I like Damian. So,
but you know what? In Damian's defense, that character has come a long way in the past year. So just the way that I look at it now,
I didn't hate him in the most recent detective story arc.
And then
where he went into the prison.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked that. He was where he needed to be.
Him and what you got to admit, him and Wonder Woman teamed up for a few issues. That was the team up you didn't know.
That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. Next one, and I'm surprised I have not heard a ton of people talk about it, but I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. It made me mad because there wasn't more to it. And that was Absolute Flash issue 2.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, awesome. Is Barry alive? Is Barry dead? The answer is yes. It's kind of, I wonder if that's whether is Wally stuck between time. You know, like he's coming in and out. So yeah. Can Barry and Wally's dad pull him to their time and keep him there? Or is this Captain Cold in this other time going to pull him there?
It's a good question. And I think he's probably going to be bopping back and forth for a bit.
And I thought that was a really cool effect, the way they did that too.
I have to say they have thought about some of these elements in the Absolute line, like Absolute Martian Manhunter, where they've said, what can we do to show things in a different way? And I think they did that mechanically from how you can use the medium of comic books to some story ways of showing things. It's just been really impressive to me. I thought it's been really great. And yeah, we haven't talked about it yet tonight, but Martian Manhunter is really interesting. And I will say, yeah, the cover says Martian Manhunter, but every time the entity refers to itself, it's Martian ... Hunter. And there's 4 dots, not 3. So it's not Manhunter. Is it Mind Hunter?
That's a good possibility.
What is it? And I've been watching that, and I'm really curious, Mark. If you're still on, I'm curious to know what your thoughts about that are, because I think that's a really interesting thing that most people have read it as, oh, it's Martian Manhunter because it's what it says on the cover, but I don't think it is.
One thing that left me confused about this book and left me going, huh, what, was the big reveal of Grodd at the end of it. I was not,
You mean the teeny tiny green reveal of Grodd?
I thought that's not Grodd, that's Gleep.
Yeah.
We'll have to see where that one goes. And I've only got 4 left. Next up, Summer of Superman has started. Superman issue 25.
Back in the summer of Superman.
This was a really good issue. We had XL or Lex L Unleashed, which I thought was really good. We all knew that Wonder Woman was going to, I'm sorry, that Superwoman was going to lose her power sooner or later, but I felt like it was too soon. I would like to have seen more, but we'll have to see what happens in the next issue. Marilyn Moonlight is back. Moonlight.
Thank you.
I mean, this was a really good issue through and through, and I thought it was a good issue to kick off the Summer of Superman with.
Yep.
Next up is actually my last 3 books are Mad Cave. I do enjoy Mad Cave books. This one I picked up, I think this one was new last week. I'm not for sure though. But I got Buried long ago.
That's good.
It is a Mad Cave book, but more importantly, it's a Birch book.
Yep.
Focus.
There it is.
This was creepy.
Yeah, that was real creepy, but it was great.
It was. And now here's my question. Is Mother the Ogress?
Why are you out of focus now? There you go. That was number 1.
Yeah, this was issue number 1, Matt. And it was really good. It was solid. I like the fact that it started out with what felt like a Brothers Grimm fairy tale.
Oh, yeah.
I like the way that it did that. And then it just, the transition from the fairy tale that the child was reading to where they were actually at was good. Josh, got him. Yeah, the transition, Matt, is really good. And then it does get a little brutal. And Mother is definitely not what she seems. And I'm wondering if that thing in the pig pen at the end of it, if Mother is some type of extension of the Ogress.
Yeah, I'm not positive. It was a really good book, though. I enjoyed it. I liked it had a great vibe to it. It had a good setting. You immediately felt what it was trying to convey really well. Hey, have a good one, guys. Good night.
Hey, and then my last 2 books I got at the same time, and that is Flash Gordon issue number 8. Flash has finally ended up in the same room with Dell Arden, but is she the same Dell Arden that he's in love with? Don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. I've been telling y'all since issue 1 of this book that this has been good. I look forward to Flash Gordon every single month. I mean, this has quickly turned into one of my favorite books. Jeremy Adams is knocking this book out of the park. And then we also have Flash Gordon Quarterly, issue number 3. And what these are is the quarterlies are literally 3, sometimes that from the Flash Gordon universe, or from, say, like an alternate, say, multiverse for Flash Gordon. This particular issue had the Lion Men in it, which was a great first story. But the last story is one that they've been continuing, And I wouldn't mind seeing it turned into some type of multiverse comic. And in
I have
that,
to tell you, the Lion Man action figure
yeah,
from the movie back in the day, one of my favorite action figures I ever owned in my life. You're back out of focus again. One of my favorite action figures I ever owned, and we had a station wagon, and in 1982, it you could fold down the seat of the station wagon. Well, my sister dropped him between the back seat and the thing that folds down, and he fell way down to the floor. But I finally got that out of there 15 years after that. I never forgot where it was, and I always wanted it. And I finally got myself, I figured out a way to get it out of there. It was funky. I'll just tell you that. It was covered in whatever was down there. It was gross. But that Lion Man action figure was one of my all-time favorites. I still carry a very warm place for that in my heart.
Yeah, are you reading the Flash Gordon comics?
You know I'm not.
You really need to read them.
That's what you keep telling me, and it's not that I don't believe you. Wow, I got a lot.
You're preaching to the choir on that one, and I'm attempting to read John Glenn's Malice, starting that book series, like actual book. Bill, I've got to say that for me, depending on the issue, and I know that is such a cop-out, but it is literally a toss-up between Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Flash. I am leaning more toward Absolute Superman being my favorite one out of the Absolute books. With Flash and Batman both running a strong second, but then after I turn around and read Absolute Flash #2, I'm thinking, well, I think you just jumped up in the ranks. All of them have been solid so far, and I do, in full disclosure, I do have all the issues of Absolute Wonder Woman at home, but I have not read them yet. Yeah, it's just been a time thing. Well, what are your thoughts? What are y'all's thoughts on it? Where do y'all rank the Absolute books? How do y'all rank them? I mean, I'd like to know that.
For me, that's #1 right there.
It's been so good.
Absolute Superman is phenomenal. I love it. That's cool. That's true for a lot of folks. They think Absolute Wonder Woman's great. I just can't get over all the things that she theoretically has at her disposal, and she keeps coming up with the same solution of, but I can make my sword bigger. Ooh, I can make it even bigger. And biggester. It can get even bigger than that. Like, come on. This is not anime, people, and it reads like anime, and it just bugs me. And I've said this before, I don't think Hayden Sherman's art style is right for that book. It's fantastic for Batman Dark Patterns, and I love it. I just don't think it's right for that book. But I love Absolute Superman. I like Absolute Batman. I really like Absolute Martian Manhunter. I like Absolute Flash. I like Absolute Green Lantern. And then I would say Absolute Wonder Woman would be last for me.
Yeah, Absolute Green Lantern was so good. What his second issue, is that this week or next week?
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Dark Patterns, this current storyline, feels like, what if they picked Batman up with one of his oddball villains and threw him into the same situation as Dredd in the movie? So he's stuck in the big building that's controlled by this crazy evil entity, and the building knows where he is, and the building is helping. It's really impressive. I have enjoyed it a lot. Been really good. So is it my turn now?
It is your turn now. I took up the first 55.
And it's my turn now. Since Alan hasn't read it yet, I won't go into a lot of detail here.
Do it. Go into the detail anyway.
But Absolute Superman continues to be awesome. I was kind of wondering after the last issue when you see him coming to Earth and you see him like wanting to commit suicide because he's just alone and he's stuck flying through space for the longest time. And then when he lands here, he finds a moment of joy, a moment of happiness, and then everything goes awful. But he's still going to help. This issue, I'll just so you know, this is who you meet in this issue. See if I can do it without breaking the spine on this book.
Oh, who is that? Is that Brainiac?
Yeah.
Nice.
You spend more of this issue with Brainiac than you do anybody else. This issue is a Brainiac-focused issue. So you kind of get to see what things look like from the other side of the fence a little bit. And that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. So yeah, curious to see where this goes because it doesn't look good. It looks like things are going to end very, very badly.
Now, are we getting a little more Ma and Pa Kent in this one, or is that did we finish?
Well, the title of the next issue after this one, if I recall correctly, let me see if I can. Yes, the next issue is called "Death Comes to Smallville."
That's got an ominous title.
Yeah, and everything here leads up to how that's why and how that's going to happen. Here's Absolute Green Lantern #2. Came in this week. That's right. I haven't read this one yet, so that's still there.
Call him the Absolute Black Hand.
Well, they call him Black Hands in the comics, so yeah. Talked about that. More disappointment. Like, come on, people. What the heck?
Yeah, and I had such high hopes. Now,
and this artwork right here. What is that? That's like bad anime.
Yeah.
That's bad anime art. What is this? Not a fan. And then the reflection in Cobra, like, no, that's not good.
Were the silent issues meant to be part of the Real American Hero universe or the Energon universe?
That's actually a really good question. Given the characters that they've introduced here, I have to think that they're meant to be part of the Energon universe because there's no Snake Eyes. Although that said, there's characters we haven't met either in the Energon universe, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a problem in its own right that I hadn't really considered.
Now, you sung the praises of the first issue.
And the second one was good, too. This one is good. So the kind of storytelling is much more what I have wanted for years. The one thing that this lacks, and they need to resolve it, is Spider-Man's supposed to be funny. He's zinging one-liners at people when he's beating them up and all. There's no funny right now. That lighthearted spirit is not there.
Yeah.
And I would like to drop the stakes a little bit and bring back a little lightheartedness. But this continues to be a very good book, a very solid book. This has some flashbacks with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. I mean, it's a solid book. I like it. I just I would like them to find their sense of humor again a little bit. They had it in the first issue. It started to go away in the second issue, and
now this particular Spider-Man title, is it main continuity?
Yes, this is Amazing Spider-Man. This is the main continuity book. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Bill. Yeah, dead on. Absolutely. All right. For anybody not reading this, you should be reading this. Ultimate Wolverine is one of those where I thought I was going to be underwhelmed. I'm like, how good is that going to be? This is just going to be them cashing a check off the Wolverine name. And no, this is a heck of a good book. The kind of the smash up of Wolverine and Winter Soldier, where it's Logan as the Winter Soldier, is really interesting. There's a scene in here where he's talking to um, uh, Sabretooth, and Sabretooth is kind of saying things that the audience has questions about, and Sabretooth is asking the questions. Like he's sniffing, like kind of thing, and he says, "Yo, are you back from the dead, Logan?" And he goes, "Well, there's something wrong about you. There's something off. It's almost like you changed, like you really are dead. No, you're not dead, but you ain't yourself. Um, nope, you're not yourself at all." So whatever's going on here is really interesting, and Sabretooth has a sense of what it is. Uh, and then there's a bit where, it's funny. You talk about the books that have the red label on them, and ooh, they're gory and horribly violent.
Yeah.
Well, Wolverine cuts off Sabretooth's arm, and then
And
you
didn't
get
get the
this
red
close
band?
up of his arm, like kind of growing back. That's gorier than anything we've seen in any of these red label books.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen like one or two things in the red band books that would make me go, okay, well, yeah, that's red band. But other than that, there hasn't been very much at all.
No, no. But Ultimate Black Widow shows up in this issue. This series has just been fantastic from start to finish. Really, really happy with it. The Detective Comics Annual. It's got stories by several folks in it.
Yeah, I hadn't got to that one yet.
They're solid. There's none of them are just awful, which a lot of times that's the case in an annual like this. And several of them are actually pretty good. So worthwhile pickup. I would recommend that. Definitely a great pickup here because it was free comic book day. The Phantom. Look at that awesomeness.
Nice.
His
I
hands
love
are
that issue.
appropriately sized and all that. But yeah, no, I've always liked the Phantom. The Ghost Who Walks. It's great stuff. I dig it. It's a fun book. Also for Free Comic Book Day, the Fantastic Four / Giant Size X-Men gives you a little prequel there of what's going on, what's happening. It's free. It was the right price.
What are your thoughts on the whole them coming out with the giant size stuff? Do you think they're just they're actually doing it for the fun of it, or are they trying to cash in on yesteryear?
Well, you know what they're doing with that, right?
Mm-mm.
Kamala Khan is being retrofitted into those in a weird way. All of the Giant Size X-Men books, she shows up, or all the Giant Size books, she shows up and plays some role in them. It's interesting. I would like to have Aaron explain that because he's way more on top of it than I am, and he's it's an interesting. He didn't have high hopes, but he's kind of digging it now.
Yeah.
This was excellent. Energon Universe. Here's the whole cover because it's a wraparound cover.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
God, I hate I missed Free Comic Book Day, but it had to be done.
Well, this is in your box.
Yeah, you're a beautiful man.
And monsters too, I think. But if not, we have extras, so we'll just make sure you get them. There we go.
Nice.
Ah, look at Buzzer.
So have you pre-ordered Monkey Wrench yet?
You know I did.
Hey, Monkey Wrench looks awesome.
Yeah, he does. I'm going to have a whole shelf of nothing but Dreadnoks here in a minute. This was great. We already talked about this, but this was fantastic.
So good.
So good. Void Rivals, I enjoy it, but I'm not just like crazy about it. Got to talk about the next issue immediately. It's good. It's solid. It continues to be good. I kind of enjoy Void Rivals more as a binge read, which is not normal for me. I like to read them issue by issue. Fantastic. This is so good. I love this issue. This was great.
Daniel Major's got a question before we go any further, and I got to be honest with you, I kind of fell off on Void Rivals. And I don't know how they tie in.
Well, I think one side's going to come up with Cobra and the Decepticons, and the other side's going to come up with G.I. Joe and the Autobots, and the war is going to continue. It's just going to be a war happening in three places at the same time. Or that's what I think is going to happen. They really established that Cobra La, which is all yay pro organics and boo boo technology, is like we just found out about Transformers, and they want to go put a stop to that nonsense. So Lord only knows. Batman the question all along the Watchtower has continued to be a good, solid story of the person who's playing security or playing the role of security up on the Justice League base in space. I thought it was interesting. It's supposed to be a 6-issue limited series, and at the end, it says,
Okay.
Not the end.
Yeah, but if she continues in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, but it just means this wasn't for naught. This wasn't just for jollies. This is actually, this counts towards what's going on in the regular book, which the Atom Project, all of these books that are spinning out of Justice League are doing that. Yeah, and Lord only knows. We talked about that one already. Yeah, I like what Waters is doing too. Now this one, I talked about when the first issue came out. Did you get a chance to read the first issue of this yet?
No, I sure didn't. I haven't even seen that. I didn't see a first issue of that one.
Mad Cave Studios. Let me put it this way, because I'm sure that I'm going to be speaking your language, and this is going to click with you. Go back in time to Leviathan. And so when Leviathan came out, when The Abyss came out, and those underwater movies, so good, right? Now take that and cross that with...
we kind of lost you for a second. Cross that with what?
Well, I just stopped because I was trying to think it through.
Oh, okay.
Cross that with something like The Walking Dead or The Last of Us.
Okay.
More The Last of Us, where it's this organic thing. And that's what you've got with Crush Depth. It's people surviving in submarines, still looking for other humans who have survived, the first issue, they pick up a radio signal, a distress call, and they go to it knowing that it could be bad, and it's bad. Turns out to be bad. But this is years after it happened. And just the vibe of this book is like, ooh, okay. And even better, Tom knows the writer of this book, or at least has contact, and he reached out and said, hey, our guys would like to talk to you about it. And so I've been talking with him on email, and he's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk to him about this book.
Okay, so I didn't get the first issue of that. I need the first 2 issues then.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. We talked about this on the show, the first issue, because I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to talk you into reading it then, but it didn't work. But anyway, this was really, really good. It's also got some elements of The Thing, that movie, the John Carpenter movie.
Oh, yeah.
It has some elements of that to it, too. Super creepy book. The vibe on this is like, ugh, but in a good way.
You brought it up and you mentioned The Abyss.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie 37 times and I've cried at it 38 times.
Well, did you know they're making a sequel to it?
I wish to God they would not. The movie was absolutely perfect. It does not need a sequel.
Yeah, it's called Son of Abyss.
Oh my God. All right. That's the show for the night, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got Damon Hawk with that joke like 4 times over 20 years. It's great.
That was a good movie, though. It really was.
Ultimate Spider-Man number 16. This is one of those ones that's starting to go up, up, up in value. They reveal the identity of Mysterio. And this Mysterio ain't playing around. He's not like, hey, I got some movie tricks and I can do some things. He's not playing around. But this is very, very interesting, this book. And I know you're not reading it, but really, really good. Really good. If you want to step right back to 1984, here you go. You can.
Yeah, really.
It's written by Chris Claremont, and the art style is very purposefully similar to that time. And it picks up after events in the X-Men that Claremont meant to write about, but then things got pulled a little bit a different direction, and he just never got back to it. Well, he's getting back to it now. So if that's your kind of thing, if you want to jump back to 1984, you can. This one I have not had a chance to read yet, so I can't really talk a whole lot about it. But it's a fascinating kind of cross between like Red Sonja and sci-fi. It's more sci-fi than anything. But there's definitely a Red Sonja kind of a vibe to it. There's some, it's interesting. I'm curious to see if it lives up to the promise. Like I said, I haven't gotten to read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. The art style is a little bit weird for me. Like she's halfway bald, but then has this huge red hair. Like
that seems very heavy metal-esque.
Yeah, it's very heavy metal-esque. Yes, that's a good description of it. Yeah, but that's a new one that just came out. This is another one I haven't gotten to read yet, but this is also a new one from Mad Cave, Vanishing Point.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks amazing, doesn't it?
That does look good.
I know they say don't judge the book by its cover and all, but I really want to. I've not gotten to read it, but Mad Cave is doing some great. So we need to have Mark London back on here because they have grown leaps and bounds since the last time we talked to him.
They really have, and they're putting out one solid book after another.
And I don't know if you've seen the ads for the Pale Knight. that's coming out. Have you seen that?
Uh-uh.
I know it was in the back of Crush Depths. Let me. It's a Nick Marinkovich cover.
Nice.
Look at that. How gorgeous is that?
God, that does look so cool.
Yeah, and then there's like a little 3-page preview back here of the Pale Knight, and it's
Oh, that's cool looking.
yes,
That kind of gives off Prince Valiant vibes.
no, Prince Valiant is bright and cheerful. This is not.
Well, I'm talking about like the Prince Valiant from the newspaper back in the day, just the way
I know
that it
what
looked.
we're talking about.
I mean, just the way that it looked.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but yeah, it's. I'm really excited about that. This one has been like way under the radar at that DC is putting out. Resurrection Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a new character. He's been around forever. The first issue of this was just hypnotic. Rom V wrote this, and it was just you started reading it and you got dragged in really quickly. And then the second issue just continues where it left off, and it's a fascinating read. It's kind of philosophical in a way, but not like in a boring study for your test kind of way. Just an absolutely fantastic book. Rom V, again, that guy might know what he's doing. So very good. Very good. Strongly recommend if you're interested, looking for something a little bit different, something really interesting. We already talked about Mark Spears Monsters #4. Great book. G.I. Joe #316.
I'll get my hands on it tomorrow.
So this cover, you see Snake Eyes putting on the Crimson Guardsman uniform. That's because that's a plot point in this book.
So I know that this book is supposed to be about the ninjas.
Not yet.
Not yet, because I'm dying to know how they're going to portray Sean Collins.
Well, the first thing that happens in this book is a car pulls up to the G.I. Joe base out in the middle of the desert with a dad, a mom, a kid, and an old man. And they're like, sir, you're entering private military, classified military property. You have to turn around and leave. And the guy says, we're seeking sanctuary. We're trying to defect from Cobra. I'm a Crimson Guardsman. And so they're like, hang on a minute. So they take him. They bring the family in, and they decide that they're going to send the family back to Springfield, except not the family because they can't trust the family, and the family wouldn't be able to do what they want. But Snake Eyes is used to wearing a rubber mask, and Scarlet is also an undercover operative. Jinx is about the same size and general shape as the daughter. Yeah. And Sean Collins is also used to wearing a rubber mask. And so he's going in pretending to be Grandpa. Okay. So it's this undercover mission that they're going on, and it's great. And then there's a little plot point where you're like, okay, they're going to follow these guys and let them come back. So the group that was on Cobra Island that escaped, Muskrat and all those guys, Helix and all that, they get off the helicopter and they're like, oh man, I'm going to sleep for 3 days and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And Stalker comes running out and he's like, okay, you got an hour and you guys got to go right back. And they're like, what? They need some human intelligence, and they need people who know the lay of the land now, as opposed to how it has changed from before on Cobra Island. So they've got to reinsert them back on Cobra Island like immediately, and they're all just like, "Oh man." And I gotta say, when I was a kid, I liked the action figure for Muskrat. I thought he was pretty great.
Yeah.
But he was never drawn to where he looked like somebody that looked like you don't want to mess with that guy. The way that Paul Pelletier draws him, the way that why did his name just escape me? Anyway, the way that he is drawn, you're like, okay, that dude looks awesome. I want to know more about that guy. He's great. I will say, why does his name run out of my head? The artist that we've both been liking on G.I. Joe.
Mooneyham,
Chris Mooneyham. Paul Pelletier, who did the other story arc in between the Chris Mooneyham stories, does the art in this book. And he has adapted his style to look like Mooneyham.
Oh, really?
And like this panel here, this last panel here at the bottom, the way those guys look in the background.
Oh yeah, that looks wow. That looks good.
Looks like Mooneyham.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's Paul Pelletier. I've loved Paul Pelletier's art for a really long time. I loved it when he was at CrossGen. It was great, but yeah, the way that he draws these guys is very similar to the way that Mooneyham draws them. Just really, really enjoying what Larry Hama's doing. It's fantastic. And then last but not least, I got a new one I have not had a chance to read yet. I picked it up, even though I really typically despise this format, the magazine size.
Yeah.
I just hate it. But it is from AWA, so I got to give it a shot. And I picked it up, and then I discovered this. It's not a comic book. It's not a comic book. It is an illustrated novella.
Oh.
So, I mean, the art's gorgeous, but I haven't had a chance to read the story yet. But it's from AWA, and it looks great. So, I'm going to give this a shot. For some reason, it doesn't bother me quite as bad if it's not a comic book. This oversized size, because just don't dig the oversized format of these books. I want them to be able to fit in a bag and a board and fit in a box, and I don't want to have to buy special supplies just for those. It just irritates me. But yeah, that's what I've got from this week, and there are a couple in there I think from the week before, but for the most part, this is all this week's stuff, and that's what I've got. So pretty exciting. A lot of good stuff. What are you guys reading? I mean, you guys are still hanging out there. What are you reading that we haven't talked about yet, or that we talked about but you're reading it too and you have questions or what have you? What's going on? Let's hash some of that out. Did you read Monsters number 0 and what did you think? Did you read Monsters number 4 and what did you think? Anybody reading Amazing Spider-Man? What are your thoughts about that? As opposed to what it is now, as opposed to what it has been for the longest time.
Yeah, I am curious as to what everybody's reading that we're not reading.
The same. Well, yeah, James. Here's this format, and here is a standard comic book. So I'm going to line it up on the corners. So you can see how much bigger, you see how much wider it is, and then how much taller it is. It doesn't fit in a standard bag and board. It doesn't fit in a standard comic book box. So if you have any of these, you have to buy extra supplies for it, and it just sucks. And it's pointless 99% of the time. There's no point in that. like they do it distillery. All of the distillery comics are that big size. Um, they don't fit on the shelf. They don't fit in our back issue bins at the store. It's a hassle. And Distillery does all of their comics that way. And there are quite a few titles from Distillery that I would probably like, but I'm not going to read them because I don't want to deal with them. And I'm not alone. I think we have like 2 readers for Distillery comics across the entire customer base at Haven.
Yeah.
Just hardly anybody wants to read them, and it's because of the size.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that was the same thing with the what was it? DC, was it Black Label series?
Yep.
Yeah. Coming out with those big magazine size, and it was kind of, I don't really want this.
There was the novelty of it the first time, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then the reality of where the heck do I put this? I have to have a special box, special bags and boards just for these. Get out.
Yep.
And the people who love that size are like, well, it's just the same thing. It's like, no, it's not. This is some fraction of a percentage of the rest of my collection. So it's an outlier, and it's a pain in my butt. And 99% of the time, completely unnecessary. It buys you nothing to have that larger format. I do not care for it.
It's just their way of trying to stand out, and
it is.
I'm like you. I don't see a point in it.
You guys excited for Megatron's return? It's a good question. Alan, are you excited?
I'll be honest with you. I fell off of Transformers also. I mean, it was I was never a massive Transformers fan to begin with. I mean, I did like it when I was a kid, but I also read so many comic books a week that sometimes some things just have to go. And that was one that chose to go.
I'm keeping up with Transformers, but that's all I'm doing. It doesn't excite me like G.I. Joe does, never has. But if you want to know like who's crazy excited about Transformers, that would be Tom. As long as Daniel Warren Johnson's on the book. So through number 24. After that, we'll see if he maintains his excitement. Looking forward to reading Lore Olympus Volume 8 this week. Okay. That's very good. I haven't read any Lore Olympus. I've heard good things, though.
I got to look that one up. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's manga, but it's manga sized. It's that kind of smaller digest size. Daniel Major, Lore Olympus is a really, really, really big fight every issue. I can kind of get behind that. That's fun. I dig that. What else are you reading, Daniel? I know it's got to be some good stuff. It's a dramatized version of the Hades and Persephone story. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
I dig some mythology. I get that. Oh, very nice. Alan, I'll ask you, what are some comics that are coming up that you're excited about?
Way to put me on the spot, Josh.
You're welcome.
Let's actually look to see what's coming.
Phantom Road is one I need to read. I have not read that, and I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I should check that one out. But Daredevil, yeah, that's been good.
Yeah, Daredevil's been really good. Daredevil, Road to Hell.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. That first issue was phenomenal.
I know. Wait, are you talking about the Cold Day in Hell?
Yeah, Cold Day in Hell. That's it. Cold Day in Hell.
Oh my God, that first issue was so great, and I am itching to read the next one. The way he's got Frank Castle just nailed to the wall and dismembered, like, ay, that's rough. That's rough. Like, why wasn't that in a Red Band? That was a pretty gruesome book. I don't know. The whole Red Band thing had so much promise in it. It just
Yeah, I am looking forward to Exquisite Corpses. I
Yeah,
definitely
that
want
one
to do
looks
that
good.
because
You got to read the ash can for that one, right?
yes, I got to read the. Did I bring you the ash can?
You might have, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Well, it's. I don't think it was an ash can. I think it was actually a full size issue.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was like a reader. It was a advanced reader's copy. But what
Okay.
it does is it gives you a little bit of the story, and then like the second half of it is literally just like the bios of the people that have been hired to play the game.
Yep.
So it is kind of like a Purge meets the Hunger Games.
Okay.
So, and I know that somebody had referred to it as horror, and I can definitely see where it can be horror, but it might actually be more survival horror. And I don't think, based off of what I read, I don't think there's going to be a good guy per se. I think it's going to be, I know I've got mine at home and I love them. I think it's going to be more of a pick your anti-hero, and whichever one of the characters you like will be, that'll just be your character. Daniel, the Captain Planet, I got about halfway through the ash can and something happened and I never could get back to it. But what I did read of it, I really liked it. And I think it is coming out this week.
It's soon, yeah.
I mean, I'll jump on League of Comic Geeks and tell you if it's out this week or not.
These covers are just gorgeous.
Oh, they really are.
Really, really digging that.
Yes, Captain Planet came out yesterday.
All of our Mark Spears covers got damaged, as I alluded to earlier.
Hey, stupid question. Did you order any It's Jeff for Jeff Week?
Of course I did.
Okay, I need to grab one because my boss's name is Jeff, and I'm just going to leave it on his desk.
Let me
Or let me say one of my bosses' name is Jeff. I got like 500 bosses. Space Quest came out this week. I am looking forward to see how they do that. Yeah, he'll definitely think that's funny. And it's Chris. It's Jeff. Jeff is just a shark.
Jeff the Land Shark.
Yep, Jeff the Land Shark.
He's bizarre, but people have really latched on to that.
That thing sold out when it first came out, didn't it?
He must work with you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'll have to pick that up tomorrow.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What was the last issue?
I kind of hate that Aaron Cooter's not on the book anymore because I really liked his stuff. He kept really clean and simple lines, almost like Chris Samney a little bit, which is not necessarily my favorite style, but I really thought it worked.
Was that the issue that it felt like we had a fill-in artist because the regular artist was sick?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I get it. That does happen.
I mean, it wasn't like it was. Here's one that you guys remember, and I don't want to disparage anybody because that's rough, but do you remember in the 90s when you would be reading, say, Silver Sable and you're used to Stephen Butler art, and then you pick up an issue and you got Tom Grinberg on art?
All right, Daniel.
And you're like, what just happened here? What is this? That was really frustrating because the style was just so all over the place and so dramatically different. Real inky and loose instead of clean, pristine lines. It was really, I didn't care for it. But the dreaded fill-in artist, when their style doesn't match up, is painful.
Now, here's one for you. With everything that's going on with Diamond, do you think that we're going to end up losing some of these independent publishers?
I don't know. It's really weird. Universal Distribution, which is a Canadian comic book distributor, what they wanted out of the deal with Diamond was Alliance Gaming distribution. Now, I don't know if that's because they just want to use that to distribute games, then they want to break into games that way, or if they want to distribute games and comics from that warehouse in the US. I don't know. Very curious about that. But the people who make WizKids and Nika and all that stuff, things like Hero Clicks and stuff, they're the ones who got the rest of Diamond.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to be in the comic book distribution business. I have no idea. So we'll find out.
Well, I mean, they're kind of in it now. They're going to have to do something with it.
But not necessarily. They could just trash it. They could repurpose the facility for all the distribution to something else. I think what they really wanted was Diamond Select toys and statues. I think that's what those guys really wanted.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if they want comic distribution, and if Universal is using Alliance distribution, whatever they're going to rebrand that as, for comic distribution, then that introduces 2 new distributors onto the market for comics. And I'm already dealing with 3. I don't really have a lot of appetite for 4 or 5.
So what? Lunar, Penguin, and Diamond? Is that the 3?
Yep. So we'll see. It's interesting. Bags and boards. Yeah. They went from kind of unnecessarily expensive to holy crap.
Why did they go up all of a sudden?
Because most of them come from China or Canada.
Okay. So totally off topic, which we have been jumping topics. And I know that everybody's been kind of making fun of what he's doing, but apparently Cold Day in Hell, the second printing, the 1 in 25 is the Frank Miller black and white virgin variant.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
This is actually pretty nice looking. I'll pull it up right quick. It just looks like a sketch.
No. Quality control is all over the place, and it's awful. It's just a mess. Sorry, go ahead. Go back to you're showing us a picture.
I kind of like it.
Well, it's less awful than everything else.
Yeah.
Because everything else
it literally looks like something
terrible.
Why is that just going ape the way it is? I don't know. I just think it's a little different looking. It's definitely not the Wolverine he did.
No. Or that horrible Wonder Woman.
Yeah, really.
It was a complicated mess. The company that won the auction, right after they won, Diamond tried to say no, they didn't win and sell to the second highest bidder. And so that company sued them. And Diamond said, okay, you can buy us. And then a couple weeks later, that company said, wait a minute, your distribution agreement with Wizards of the Coast, where Magic the Gathering and all that stuff, that's coming to an end on April 30th, and you didn't tell us that. That's fraud and deception. So they dropped their purchase, and they decided they were going to sue Diamond for fraud and deception. And so Diamond went back to the other bidder, and the other bidder, the second that they wanted to sell to, kind of in the first place, ended up buying Diamond for about $12 million less than their original bid price. So, yes, they are The sale is going through to two people who banded together to make the bid. One of them is Universal Distribution out of Canada, and the other is WizKids Nika, the people that do Hero Clicks and stuff like that. And so the Universal Distribution is getting the Alliance Gaming distribution in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and WizKids Nika gets the rest of it. So, yeah, it's a really complex and very stupid comedy of errors. If you made a movie out of this whole sales transaction, no one would believe you. They'd be like, nothing could be this stupid. This defies description. Nobody could be this dumb. No, they could, and they are. Welcome to Diamond. So, yeah. That's what we've been dealing with. How will it affect retail? Honestly, we don't know yet. At a minimum, we're going to have to add another distributor if we want to get certain books, like books from Dynamite, books, all of the covers available for Mark Spears on Keen Spot, what have you. There's, at a minimum, we're going to have to carry one other distributor for something. So yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain, but what can you do?
Stupid question. Doesn't Diamond own Previews World?
Yes.
Well, do we have any idea what's going to happen with that? Because I'm actually on their website now. That's why I'm looking at it.
The WizKids Nika people get it. They also get free comic book day. Yeah, comic shop locator, Diamond book distribution, Diamond comics distribution, the Diamond grading authentication company. They get all that.
I wonder if they're going to maintain Previews World.
No idea.
I do like Previews World. I like getting on here
because that's a useful tool. Their web interface for buying comics and stuff, that's it's not fancy by any means, but it's really useful and it's really efficient. I can place orders for Diamond stuff. Let's put it this way. At the end of the month, when I have to do my order every single month, used to, when I just did it all on Diamond, because that was the only distributor, it took me about 3 hours. Now it takes me about 7 or 8 hours over the course of 3 days because it gives me such a headache.
Good God.
Yeah, it sucks every single month because each one of these distributors has a different ordering system, a different interface, and Diamonds is far and away the best. It was designed for exactly this. It gives you a lot more information, but it does it in a way that's easy and efficient with a lot of things on the page. Penguin Random House, their system is so slow and clunky. If I add an item, like, okay, I put a number in the box of how many I want, and I hit enter and go to the next one, you get the little spinny circle while it processes that for about 10 to 12 seconds. And then you have to do it for the next one, 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I like their website.
It's a nightmare. It's really, really awful. Free Comic Book Day as trademarked entity, all that stuff will belong to the WizKids Nika people who just bought all the assets of Diamond except for Alliance distribution.
Now, do we know if they're going to keep Free Comic Book Day going?
No idea. At this point, we have no insight into any of that.
So, I mean, as far as Diamond is concerned, we could really and truly say that just about everything Diamond for next year is completely and totally up in the air.
Correct.
That kind of blows. I mean, Free Comic Book Day is, I mean, that's tradition now.
Yes, it is. I don't know if that's true or not, Keith. I know that somebody else owns it. What they choose to do with it, I don't know.
They're
I
going
have
to
no
upset
idea.
a lot of people if they get rid of free comic book day.
It's by far the biggest day of the year for most comic book retailers. So I don't know. It sucks.
I do like jumping on Previews World and looking at the final order cutoffs.
Uh-huh.
Even though I'll like look at something like I really want that, and then it's like no, not for $320.
Yep.
But every once in a while, I do run across something on there, and I just send you the link.
I have to admit, I did order that Cobra Commander statue. It was $284. It was ridiculous.
And I really hope that somebody buys that from me.
Wouldn't it be nice if someone bought that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the final order cutoffs now, and I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me.
Well, they hardly have anything comic-wise. They have a very limited. They're carrying Marvel, but Marvel it's a sub-distribution deal with Penguin Random House, so our discount's not really good. Well, yeah, it's a mess. You are not kidding. You right about that. Yeah, it's something. It's something. Well, man, the storm just hit here, and I got to take my dogs outside, so I'm going to have to go put on a raincoat or something because it's coming down hard.
I don't even know if it started yet.
It's time to sign off here.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Well, you guys all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Always good talking with you. Try your best to stay out of trouble. We know it's hard, but in the immortal words of Rob Schneider, you can do it. So we'll catch you guys next time.